All right, chat, focus up. For this next segment, we are watching the most recent Elden Ring Nightreign official channel event, which was called the Night Hunt. And I think it was like so many teams, 8 teams are actually playing and competing, like showcased in this event. I'm super excited for it because I've not really seen a whole lot of gameplay, like straight gameplay. So I want to watch through this and kind of get prepared for what's going to go down. I think it's going to answer a lot of questions I have too. All right, let's see what we got going on here.
Being prepared, and this is the area of the game where you're going to be able to access, your different cosmetics, thinking about different things you want to level up. We talked a little bit about some of the roguelike.
So this is
a good moment to bring that up. Dan, talk to me about some of the relic system that players can expect to sink their teeth into when it comes to
Tell us about it. Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so even though you're going to be starting every run at level 1, you're making permanent progression as you play.
We love
game.
permanent progression, baby.
Range and quality. So you're looking for the large gems to give you serious impact on your run. It could change your ultimate ability.
Yeah.
Just give you more stats. There's a huge breadth of diversity in what you can unlock.
Oh God, yes.
I like to play a support build. So even when I'm on Wilder, I have it set so that when I drink a flask, my teammates get the flask.
Bro.
When I use buffing food, it also buffs my team.
Yeah.
So when I go into a boss fight, I'm just like, here's all the buffs, and here's all the healing.
Yeah.
So it makes again, you can kind of spec
That
your
is
character
sick.
to your own personal taste, above and beyond what the.
I'm going to pause this because I love to yap. I'm a big yapper, Chad. This game makes me excited. I think that's going to be sick. And that's what I wanted to happen. I wanted there to be some type of progression between, I know it's a roguelike, between matches to make me feel like I'm working towards something. And these relics are going to have 3 different randomized abilities that are going to impact how certain characters play. And there's going to be character specific relics. So I think like there's going to be so much that you can actually work towards getting a perfect build outside of your traditional Elden Ring build.
Character
which makes me super
there's
happy.
Like some colossal weapons in the game. I'm a big Raider main, and like I did an intelligence mind Raider build. I know it's like blasphemous.
That's
but
illegal.
I was casting
that's
like
the rules.
I was casting some crazy spells playing Raider long range. So like you can really tune your character to whatever you want it to be, and then have 8 different characters to play. The just skill tree paths in this game are endless, Jake.
Yeah, there are so many options. So our teams are getting ready to play. I think another aspect that we're gonna see come to bear as they start to queue up as it runs, looks like they're all starting to kick off here, is this team composition. You're seeing everybody start to lock in their heroes, and this is where the teams are making their first.
Dude, give me here. I want to see some gameplay.
So
Whoa, go back.
Just try to get a.
With a Duchess.
Okay, here we go.
This is an
Sweet.
extremely high damage composition.
Yeah, very fragile though,
They're
right?
not going to have any frontline support whatsoever. The Duchess is going to have to be nimble in and out of combat. And one of the things that the Duchess has, not even counting her abilities, but she has a double backstep, which is fascinating for getting out of trouble. And the Duchess is going to be in a lot of trouble here because they're not going to have a frontline without it. But that said, the amount of damage output this team can deal is absolutely absurd.
So Dan, we're right here at the very start of a Nightreign run. When everybody is hopping in on the 29th, they're going to be able to start a run much like this. And
oh, chat, I'll say this. Stoked, there's no fall damage, which is insane. Like, I could have guaranteed you if there was fall damage, that would be the first thing that killed me in this game. No fall damage in Nightreign makes me mucho happy. Like, that's taken out arguably 100 of my deaths in my actual Elden Ring run. No fall damage. We're cooking here, boys. Mobility's crazy.
Do on this first drop in, we know we're always racing against the clock in Nightreign, so give people a head start.
You are, but for first-time players, I wouldn't really worry about the time element at first. Just try to get a handle on what everything is and how things work. But the time can come in later. That's sort of a thing you perfect rather than try to mess with it early on. So clearing out a first camp, this is a very traditional opener, if you will. This camp will take you from level 1 to 2, give you some introductory consumable items and weapons to start off your adventure. You basically want to be level 2 before you start any other.
Maybe it's a no damage area.
Team green here as well. You can see that it's not just the camp you start off with. There's also churches available all around that can give you more.
No, I don't think there's any fall damage.
And walked away. So where's the top left now? That's where flasks are in total. They got 4 flasks to start things off. The rest of the team should be at things like 3 and whatnot. We can go and tune over to Team Blue as well. Look,
oh my God, Myth's playing.
Their camp just started a little bit later, but when you have Revenant in the pool, you can just go through camps so fast. They just landed, by the way. This camp's already done.
Yeah, it's cleaned out already. And again, the Revenant is really great at clamp clears because of not only does she have her family friend, but she's also going to create minions from fallen foes.
Okay, sweet. So that's exactly what she does.
You know, depending on how the structure of your map is at the beginning, you know, you may hit churches up early, you may hit them late, or you may bypass them entirely.
Yeah, I want to go to Team Purple right now to look at just what happens in some of these other big cathedrals, not even churches.
You're so fast here.
Taking on a Guardian Golem that spawns here. Some other teams so far have also gotten to this point and taking things down. Now again, I know this seems like a very big BR thing. There's a circle closing in. We have 8 different teams. They're all doing their own runs. It's not all the teams on the same map. So every single team is in their own seed, doing their own run, kind of racing to see who can take this boss down. It's kind of like a yes/no check system.
Oh my God.
So that's what
Yo, Ghastly, thank you so much for the 5, bro. And absolutely, if we can play together, I want all the friends in there. I'm more than happy to play with absolutely everybody. Honestly, I think solo I'd embarrass myself. So if we can play together, like if you're on PC, like let's definitely get together and play some.
We're looking for.
Again, bro, thank you so much for the 5. I appreciate you.
Everyone's kind of on the same map, but they're in their own type of games right now.
So yeah, they're all going to be facing Gladius at the end of this.
Yeah.
But how they get there is going to be very different.
True, very true. So towards the end of.
So you get runes.
That means that if Team Purple.
But I don't. I think you have to hit a grace to level up.
Someone like Team Violet, who's looking at something else entirely.
Absolutely, and again, the route that they take there is going to be very different depending on the map. You can see some of.
Oh, that's like the jump pads we got for Torrent.
At the top of the map, that will significantly change your game plan if you decide to go down that route.
Yeah, I want to tune in with Team Gray right now. Again, they found a Guardian Golem in a very different place, and now you can see kind of the differences inside the game. We found a Guardian Golem inside a cathedral. This one spawning in at the top of a fortress.
Cowboy Bean is so cool.
From the basement to get all the way.
I know Afro too. That's crazy. I don't know these guys personally. I know of them, right?
In this game. That's Executor, a double Executor team with an Iron Eye.
I love it. That's very bold. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm rooting for this team now.
Oh, they got a Nagakiba as well, so they're going like the perfect item for the Executor. This is nuts. So yeah, again, like the differences for every single team are crazy with the compositions early. Let's slow things down a little bit and just talk about day number 1. I talked about fortresses, cathedrals. Sure. What's available on the map for teams to do?
We're going really fast here. Yeah. So there are all kinds of different like camps of different varying strengths.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to determine with your team, like, okay, we're level 3.
So hang on. So check this out right here, boys. Super fast, and I love that. I think they said days last like 15 minutes. And you're playing for 3 days, like in game time. So right here, we've got Iron Eye, but he was given the option of a dormant power. So that's like defeating an enemy, and then you get like a loot selection. He had the option to get the Gargoyle's Great Axe. Typically, you wouldn't think a ranger could use a Great Axe. I wonder if he actually picks that and then can use it.
On a castle? Do we want to go to the castle and check that out? Do we want to go to a fort? Do we want to go to camp? Do we have Stone Sword keys to do the Everjails?
Yeah.
And the bonuses that they provide?
I think that's what she picked, but I don't think she's using it. Maybe she just kept it to be able to give it to somebody else.
What type of weapon is available? So if you're going up against Gladius, I believe you're looking for holy weapons as his weakness, right? Every Night Lord has a weakness, so you might go for a holy.
Oh, that's sick. That's actually super smart. That like so actually be thinking about who you're hunting, because in the beginning of the hunts, you pick who you're fighting or who you're hunting. So if you know like who you're fighting has a certain weakness, it completely changes what you're going for. Yes, you can pick up loot for other people and trade loot with your teammates.
Weapon vulnerabilities is going to help a lot. So if you go into that fight with Gladius with holy weapons, you have a much better chance of victory.
Yeah, now Jake, when it comes to some of these camps, the one big constant, because the camps will change all around, is the castle. Talk to me a bit about that castle, Jake. What's available in the center of the map? It's a big place with a lot of loot available.
Yeah, the castle is definitely something that a lot of our runners are going to take on because it's one of the most powerful, dangerous challenges in the overworld, but it also has some of the best rewards. Right now, Team Bronze, they're challenging an Everjail, so they had a Stone Sword key to open this one up. It summoned a random boss fight, and I mean, what's crazy is with how many runs we've personally seen Shadow at PAX East and here, this is the first time that I've actually seen this come out of an Everjail, and we keep saying that every run. Like, there's always something new, even for us, who we've seen like close to 100 runs at this point.
So that's also cool. After the dormant powers, it doesn't have to just be loot. You can also get like a permanent health increase or something like that, which is pretty sick.
about this little mechanic there right at the end of that. They defeated a mini boss and they got that boss reward.
Here we
That
go.
was a
That's what they're
loot
talking
rarity.
about right
Tell
here.
me a little bit more about that looting rarity system when you defeat mini bosses and major world bosses.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever you beat a boss, you're going to get options. And depending on the strength of the boss, the options will be more powerful. Those can include, obviously, weapons and other things like that you can equip. But they also include, like, permanent sort of skills. So they can be passives, sort of
There
like,
we go.
that have a big range, right? You could get 10% HP, 50% HP, or, you know, lightning whenever you roll. Or stars that fall from the sky while you're walking. There's a lot of different variables in those, and you're gonna build a completely different character composition every run.
That's awesome.
Right now you can see that, yes, one team went to go for an Everjail. They fought Stoneskin Lords. It was very contained, kind of in a boss arena. Now we're invading the camp. A different team decided to go for the Red Main Knights. This is Team Cyan, Distortion's team. They're rocking.
So what I am seeing is nobody is using like cross-class weapons. Oh my God. John, thank you so much for renewing that membership, brother.
Recluse here. Talk to me a little bit about Recluse. I mean, we see spells being casted, we see channeling happening. This is a very different type of ambiance everyone else has been watching, and these mobs are going down fast.
So Recluse is basically the core caster of this game.
Yeah.
The archetypal mage. So pretty sensitive to damage, but has an incredible depth of skills. In fact, she creates a magic cocktail based on the elements that are available, and you can create like a dozen different spells out of that. And her ultimate ability is amazing for your whole team. It puts a curse on the enemy, and every time the enemy gets hit by anyone on your team, they get health and FP back.
Oh, that's nuts.
So
you just get to sustain.
You can just chain your abilities over and over.
That's actually pretty sweet.
Just empty everything you got on.
And she hits so hard. I want to jump over to Team Bronze here. Once again, just looking at a team that's taking on something very different from everyone else inside this night hunt right now. So they're actually inside this castle. You can see you're not going to be looking at a boss health bar down below, but a lot of these things that spawn in the castle are just strong. These are the Crucible Knights. Basically a mini boss.
Oh yeah, no. This will be the mob that kills me, chat, no doubt. Like this guy's gonna kill me.
So if you can clear the castle, you're going to get a lot of XP and a lot of loot.
There it is, yeah.
See here.
So hang on, check this out. So he can get the horn bow, all right. Or you can get a completely different like passive skill here. So improved affinity damage negation plus 12%. Boost magic, fire, lightning, and holy damage negation. That's crazy. So you can go through with like some decent loot and then just grab a ton of just like passive perks.
No.
Which is really cool with like the
this is big thing,
roguelike
too, when it comes
aspect
this
to
game,
it.
right? So Iron Eye, you can see the inventory is already full. We're still making decisions here.
So this guy has the axe here. Oh yeah, no, friendly fire is goated. So my man has the great axe here, not using it, but could he if he wanted to is my question.
Help you. So increased two-handed strength, increased jump attacks, less FP consumption.
It's him! What's up, Shadow? Welcome in, man.
Even if you found the perfect weapon. And also, when it comes to fall damage, inside this game, there is none. So scaling this castle, getting out of it, a lot easier inside Nightreign.
There's no fall damage, and there's also, you can grapple up sort of walls and stuff by jumping. The traversal is paramount in this game, and you have lots of ways to move around. You can sprint super fast. You have slipstream jumps to get you across. You can jump to the top of this castle if you want.
Let's look at the bottom of the castle real quick. Team Purple, want to tune in with them ASAP. This is the very basement of the castle we're watching right now in a different world entirely. They're facing the Royal Revenant down here.
Oh, God.
Struggling a little bit. A few players going down. Now, Jake, the Revenant, usually we fight him in a big open field. In a claustrophobic dungeon like this, it's so much different.
Yeah, and Limu trying to clutch this one out is the only player left alive. You can see their teammates are down, and you attack your allies when they're in that down state to get them back up in the fight. But there you see.
So, okay, so check this out. This is the first time we've seen this, chat. This is Wilder using a big bonk weapon that you would typically think Raider would use.
You go down in short succession, there's twice as many attacks, as much damage necessary to res you back into the fight. And oh no, they're leaving
They're running away. They're behind.
Guys, help!
Oh, here we go. See that? A benefit of the Iron Eye, getting your friends up from long range.
Look at the Revenant, though.
The Revenant's got a problem with that.
He's not letting him get it for
Visual
free.
critical hit
Does
damage
go
might be
down,
insane
she's gonna
build
die
if your
and
friends
retire. The
stagger. Oh
Revenant's
yeah,
left-
for sure.
Left the dungeon, chasing him down through the hallway. Oh no.
Luckily though, it's not the end of the run when you die in the daytime. So when you die at this phase, it's a setback. You're gonna lose a level, but you are gonna respawn.
See, like this, so that makes me happy. So we know at least Wilder can use different weapon types.
Big decision point is like, do you want to go back in and take on that challenge that just bested you?
Yeah.
And
Hang on. So this is Remnant or Revenant, right? she is using
try to, kind of get back into the run, or do you
a
wanna
double
cut your
line.
losses?
This isn't
Some of those
Euphoria,
decisions
but
points
it's
are
whatever it
really
is. You know what I'm
key
saying?
when it comes to the
So
end
that
game
so
and
this
how
makes me
far you
happy.
can
I was
get
worried that
in
we
the
would be
run.
like class locked to
One thing we noticed
weapons.
there in that one, Duchess was using her ultimate there, so it makes her invisible. In fact, can make your whole team invisible. So that's a great way to get your allies up, or to get a surprise.
And it might just be one of those things, much like when you're playing. Level loss is insane this late in the game. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So what's really cool, I think, is like we're probably not going to be class locked weapons, but each one's going to come with like predetermined stats. So you probably just won't be able to use a weapon effectively. Like I don't see Raider being able to use a staff effectively unless like you're using your relics, which is your long-term progression, to be able to alter your stats that way.
Just to see what boss spawns out of it, so you guys can
Which
see
would be
kind of the
super cool.
diversity we're locking in with. We had the Stone Skin Lords before. Same type of Evergaol here. You just need a Stone Sword key, and then they'll lock in with this one too.
We can also get to see some of this Revenant gameplay. I mean, this is a new character we're showing for the first time, so let's see how.
Oh, not the Godskin duo.
A couple of favorites
The
here.
Godskin duo.
That's
There we
crazy.
go.
Spawns Frederick.
That's a tankier summon than yeah.
Looks like they're gonna try to aggro. Pressure
That's
that
sick,
boss
though.
down. Summon
Godskin duos in
maybe
this.
Ultimate aggro, great opportunities for the teammates.
Wow. And kind of using the apostles.
The bell-bearing hunter has also joined the fray here. So that's when you're traveling around in the overworld. Yeah, you never know where you're going to run into.
And they immediately ask to just disengage.
Yeah,
And
get out of there.
These are some of our strongest players in the competition. I think this is actually great for fans to see that one of the key decision points in Nightreign is picking your battles, deciding sometimes.
This
it's
makes me
better
happy
try
to
and
see
take
her
on target.
using
I mean,
this-
they're only
using
level
this
4.
weapon.
Fighting the Godskin duo plus a bell-bearing hunter at the same time.
It's a lot.
Is a lot. It's seriously a big risk you would take, but coming to clear a couple camps, getting a little bit stronger, maybe they'll return and take on that challenge.
You can come back later.
I like how the loot actually has like the symbol above it now, so you kind of know what you're looking for.
So
It does.
the Noble, even if they come back on day 2, they're going to be rocking this one, which is huge. But I've never seen these many boss.
Oh, that's crazy. So between days, they keep the same amount of health.
A lot of boss parcels.
Lots to micromanage. Well, look at Team Bronze here next, just to see what's going down, or actually even jumping over to Team Gray. I know we're bing-bonging here afterwards. We'll check in with Bronze for a second.
So
They're taking on the
I'll say this too. Weapons and items have like rarity colors now. I guess like to streamline the process. So I would assume that purple is better. So the Anspur Rapier, you can see your attacks going up, and then you get an Ash of War, which is the repeating thrust, and then you also get a passive skill. So successive attacks negate damage. That is insane. So this is a crazy build with the Ash of War and that passive ability.
castle. If you
That's
guys want to
sick.
see the Godskin Nobles taken down as well, we can tune in.
And
with
then
Gray.
nice. So perfect. This was what I was worried about. But my fear completely gone, because we're seeing every character be able to use different weapons.
The double executor gameplay. I know their experience with
Which
the
like could have been a
Godskin
given,
combinations
I
when it comes to
understand, but like
some of their movesets, so they're gonna be
it makes me
very
happy to
making
see
the
this
role
happening.
a lot over and over again. So yeah, here we go with Team Gray. Evergaol, by the way, in a completely different section of the map.
Yeah, and you don't need to be a parry wizard to use the Executor's parry in this game. It's much more flexible. It's one of his special abilities. So
Yeah.
you basically set it up and then unleash.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, you do need to set it up.
You don't need to set it up.
Noble's a huge threat. Moonski's gonna have to get the res. Iron Eye, I think, is another great.
That's
asset.
actually
We saw
really
that
nice
Gonzalez
that
do
you can use Iron Eye to heal
Flexible
allies
res.
from a distance. That's
One
crazy.
thing we've seen a lot of teams do though is even if they're running more of like a melee focused build, we've seen some of our stronger players still have a bow in the back pocket, one that they could tap into if they want to get a res
That's
off in
smart.
a difficult scenario. But this team also is not feeling that smoke, which
Well,
wants
yeah,
to chill out and
more than
go
one
for a
team
more
here
challenging
is
camp.
biting off a little more than they can chew and seeking other opportunities.
Yeah.
Yes, Shadow, I had a phenomenal day, brother. Thank you for asking.
It's different for them too, because they actually cleared this camp before doing the Evergaol. Very different to what we saw from Team Blue. Tapping in the Team Bronze.
Oh,
This is a
Tree
gold
Sentinel.
boss that might spawn around. I know a lot of us ignored it when we first tapped into Elden Ring.
A true
and
OG.
went past by. But yeah, we got the Executor just going into full beast form.
Yep.
The entire team just working down. Rain of arrows coming in. They're doing a good job here, Jake.
Hey, Team Bronze is solid right now. Level 10 is.
I really like this
fantastic place to be.
Iron Eye with the
If you're level 10
with this
at the end of
rapier.
day 1, you are sitting pretty. That's incredible, actually. I don't know what they did.
I'm telling you, when the Crucible Knights are there in the castle, you get so much XP.
That's true. That if you can clear the castle has tons of stuff. Again,
Yeah.
risk
nice.
reward balance,
Throwing
right?
fire bombs.
We're throwing fire pots here, bringing Iron Eye close range in the business. Her dash leaves a mark which lets everyone on your team do so much more damage. This Sentinel, it's butter in a microwave right now, kind of the same color, right? That yellowy, meltish orange, and it's about to be real tasty for the team. Get a big boon here.
It's gonna be 11 at the end of day 1. That's absurd.
I don't think I've seen that before. I genuinely don't think I've seen 11 on day 1.
So as this first day turns to night, you can see that.
What is up, guys? Welcome to the stream. You're just now tuning in. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. We're checking out absolutely everything Nightreign, getting ready for tomorrow. If you guys are new, type something in the chat so I can formally welcome you in. If you got any questions, let me know. So we're figuring this out together, boys. We're figuring this stuff out together.
So it can actually give you an advantage. You'll be like, oh, I'm fighting.
So the storm is, it's nighttime now, and I guess the storm has closed in pretty far, if you see that.
We'll tune right back with that team to see what boss it is. But yeah,
Takuno's down. Shocker.
Deep in the zone here.
Oh, pot. Alexander?
And like they
Maybe?
locked in too much.
You see this a lot. When that night is falling, you have to make the choice. Do we want
I say it would be super cool
and race against
if they added Alexander or some other like NPCs as characters, like in the DLC. That'd be lit.
For the boss, you're like, oh.
And then you might get to the Night Lord and not be as strong as you would like to be.
Yeah.
So they're still gonna have that chance. Looks like
here's the
Team
first
Cam
one
with Lil Aggie are gonna take on the Bell-bearing Hunter, and this is one that, I mean, they look so comfy. Lil Aggie is just locked in, not a problem, especially with the Iron Eyes, right? Double Iron Eye in this strategy.
That's smart. I could see that being super helpful. A lot of range going on.
Probably was. I didn't see it. But between the 2 Iron Eyes and the Duchess has one of my favorite abilities in the whole game. It's called Restage.
Restage is the ability where you can redo damage.
To the target in a very short time frame. So if you watch your friends and wait to see what they do, and then just tap that, you're doing all that damage again. So all your damage, all your friends' damage, all at once. Just huge chunks of damage. That was
actually
very
insane.
clean.
Yeah.
Speaking of the team synergy there, another thing I noticed from Team Tan is they pick up that boss buff. That's going to be some of your most powerful passive buffs, or sometimes active buffs, that come in after a night boss. That they have actually the poison and the Scarlet Rot in their build. So playing up
that's
those
crazy.
different members, maybe grab a different status effect, being ready for the Night Lord you're gonna face off against is really potent. And Team Tan, they're really showing their experience, looking like one of the clear favorites right now in the competition.
Then we're gonna tap into Violet to see the other type of boss that could spawn in. So we saw the Bell-bearing Hunter go and fight. Now we're gonna be looking at the Demi-Human Queen. And
oh gosh.
Swordmaster. So this is a bit different, right? It's 2 bosses at once.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the Queen so much, but the Swordmaster, he's kind of sneaky. You got to watch out for him. He can kill
Man's got like a compound bow right here. Do you see this? That's crazy.
Very dangerous.
There's Garrick there with the Revenant playing like distraction duty.
Yep.
And so making sure that, you know, no matter what happens, the rest of the team's gonna be able to take on the Queen successfully. And yeah, you can see the POVs now. Revenant kind of soloing the Swordmaster, the rest of the team trying to make quick work of the Queen.
And I mean, one of the key
dude, this is going to be a phenomenal time. Like, I'm loving this right now.
Enemies still have reworked move speeds, or the boss has been the fight has been reworked, i.e., having multiple enemies to face. So you need to coordinate that strategy. Of sometimes we've seen a lot of teams split up the aggro, having so that both bosses aren't aggroed on the same person at the same time, making dodging a little bit easier. It's one of those key strategic factors that when you hop in, and whether you're playing with friends or playing online,
I want to touch this game right now. I want to play this right now. I want it so bad.
Yeah, and even if you're just playing on randoms, there's a lot of really interesting data that is on the you can see on the stage. So like you noticed there in the Demi-Human Queen, she had a rot debuff. So you can actually see the debuffs on the targets and the buffs. So you can coordinate with your team that way silently. Like if you see the rod on there, like, okay, my teammates are gonna put rod on the target. I'm gonna take.
I just love when insane build comes together and 3 shots in him. He's like Binding of Isaac, dude. Yes.
As to what could be happening.
Oh, I wanted to see that.
Perks that support that.
So yeah, I was looking at some of these perks. Obviously, FP. Successful parries activate Golden Retaliation. Parry to dispel incoming sorceries and incantations, retaliating with golden power. Dude, that's so sick.
Look at Tan real quick. They're gonna just jump in as to what could be happening for Team Violet, even like just in 5 minutes.
So what is this? Day 2 now, I guess.
On the map on day 2, the bosses get a bit scarier. A few more field bosses end up spawning in. Right now he is staggered. He's not sleeping.
I mean, with again, this double Iron Eye Duchess comp just has the damage. Just absurd damage.
A Deathrite bird. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is a great spot to see. We're gonna tap in here with Team Violet and watch them. So a lot of our teams are on to this second day phase, but this is sort of the process you can expect, right? After you beat that night 1 boss, you're gonna have an opportunity.
So look, while there is double wielding big bonks,
you have the runes to grab the level up, or you can reset your flasks and your FP and your HP, and then now on to the next day. Something we have seen, a little pro tip for people who want to really min-max, is we've seen some teams run off into the fog before it even clears. You can do that. Try to start into day 2 as quickly as possible, but now pretty much everyone is on that day 2. Let's join Team Cyan. Looks like they're taking down a gargoyle right now, and tell me about where they are on the map right now. Let's go to Team Cyan and we can show that for POV, because
the gargoyle's already dead.
Yeah, the gargoyle's already dead.
What is happening?
But this is crazy.
This is the
Common Azure, Glintstone
right?
Staff. Yeah, I mean, okay, so we have one of the best spells in the game to take down Gladius.
Nice for getting your talismans and stuff back.
By the way.
It's a very powerful spell.
Yeah,
always has been.
And the reduced FP skill cost for the passive, that's so potent.
Yeah,
or the recluse.
and he has another thing to pick as well. Dude, he's going crazy.
We talked about this a little briefly, but yeah, even though you're only going to be wielding 1 or 2 things at once, all 6 of those slots matter.
Yeah.
So you can stack all kinds of things. So if you're a caster, you can stack FP consumption perks and other things like that.
Yeah, and then I'll slow it down again.
There was a lot of staffs. I could not even keep up with all that, Kai. I had no idea what was going on, bro.
On day number 2, and yeah, there's no fall damage. Something that happens sometimes in these maps is called shifting earth. So a crater spawns in, there could be a mountaintop that spawns in, a biome of rot even. We'll see some cool things throughout the day. This is the crater, and on day 2, you can spend the whole day scaling these things. They'll spawn, you know, very unique field bosses. We just saw the gargoyle.
Dude, the Falling Star Beast. I remember fighting this guy right outside of like the Volcano Manor or whatever it was.
I mean, this is huge. You never see this in every single run. These guys are choosing to be here. They could be across the map doing something else entirely, but they're making quick work of this boss.
So they made the choice to come into the crater, which means they're probably going to go below, but it really depends. Everyone is different, strategy is different, and they evolve over the course of a game.
Yeah. We can tap in really quick.
Yeah, I can honestly, I can see Magic being super OP here if you know what you're doing, which I do not.
Look, they're on the complete opposite side of the map, in the castle, all the way at the top, taking out a Deathrite Bird. Now, we saw this Deathrite Bird on the hills for a different team. We saw these guys in the crater. These guys are now in the castle instead on day number 2, kind of working backwards compared to every other team did.
And I mean, the roof of the castle, like we mentioned that they're on, really tends to have some of your biggest challenges in the overworld very consistently. And so it's a place that some of our more confident teams are gonna reliably be coming to seek that challenge out, get some very powerful perks. And it looks like we even got a couple legendary weapons.
No way, we got the candle stand.
Some very good stuff there.
Yeah.
Those could really
This is sick. And you can kind of see all your past selections right there. She has no talismans, which is wild.
You never know which drop is going to lead you
Maining mage
and give you that purpose overall for
I mean, it's definitely going to be super useful.
Yeah, I want to actually go to Team Blue here specifically real quick when it comes to how things are looking like on the opposite side of the map inside this crater. So they've kind of gone way past where we saw the other team take that Fallen Star Beast down. They're past it even more so, taking out these big priests and going for a drop per every single mob. So the amount of loot you have in here is plentiful. After that, we got to keep moving. Speed is of the essence.
You do, because
time is of the essence.
If you're going down into the crater, remember, you have to have a plan to get back out.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're going to keep walking forward. Here's Revenant. Again, the specialty is taking out mobs with absolute speed. And you can see that happen again. Everyone going down. The rest of the team maybe just looking around to see, you know, what we're going to be looking at towards
I don't know who I'm going to want to run.
They're still moving. They got more stuff to get past over here.
Probably Wilder Raider, I guess.
That's definitely a symbol of something.
Now they're going to tap in on their side. I want to go to Team Cyan real
Who's
quick.
Cowboy?
Who might be
Kai?
doing something very
I don't know
similar. Again, still looking different though, right? They're also going to tap in, in the exact same place, this time with Recluse. Let's look at how fast we can get through a mob like this when you have a spellcaster that's kind of focused on that single target damage.
That's wow.
I mean,
oh my god, the magic is insane.
These builds are really coming online. This is one of the things I talked about with.
But I think it's one of those things to where like
you have so many options, so many flexibilities. If you start getting the right perks, the right passives together, and you become this monster late game damage dealer. And so the hands of somebody as expert as Distortion, we really get to see what's possible. I think Recluse with all we talked about it a little bit. We can say more though about that first skill. You know, the ability to pull the elemental damage that you deal to an enemy, you pull that out of them, and then you're able to deploy that depending.
I love the fact that like even if you get the same weapon with the same rarity, you can get a different passive ability or a different Ash of War on it, and that's crazy.
A lot of different stuff up in the magic cocktail.
Absolutely, yeah. shake and stir it, do whatever you want with it, and you get some crazy combinations. Right here, so this is about timing, min-maxing. Lots of fire cards, we take our time to take down, but Dan talked about it, the crater. You have to solve its mysteries. You have to be upkeeping with time as you move.
Oh, dude, not the hands.
At you, cart spitting flame. You are skipping as many of them as you can because there's something towards the end of this that you really want to have, you know, just grab your eyes on.
Again, it's always about choices, right? Like,
yeah.
You could be halfway through the run and be like, okay, we got halfway through the crater. But
so the staff has a skill on it. If you guys can see that, I guess that's the maybe the Ash of War with it. It's kind of how that works.
You can tune in back over to Team Blue. I like going back and forth to see exactly how they're making decisions here. So Distortion is going all the way forward. Cowboy instead has actually taken out every single fire cart. Looking at these hands as well, he's kind of delayed a few meters back from where we saw the other team, but has more runes in total, so they'll get another level up, go up to 9, and now
it's the spell.
Through all the hands.
I see. I've never used a staff, so can you equip a certain spell on the staff, or does it kind of work like the Ash of War does?
Almost all the way
right to the bottom.
Yeah.
We can actually hop over to Team Cyan to see where they're ultimately going to be going. The final challenge. Although I think Team Blue.
I think we stick with Team Blue. I want to see them.
Team Blue's about to run in and show off some of the loot to be found in the crater.
And there it is, both of them side by side.
On the crater here, taking on the magma worm here down at the base.
That is just such unbelievable damage, man. Like I can't. They're punishing the magma worm. That is a thick monster. Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. What I'm gathering here is Mage is absolutely insane.
Decimated. I mean,
like Magic's gonna go so hard.
It's just every single time she casts.
But can it really go against Big Bonk?
Staggered as well. Gonna take a big crit there.
And imagine these are fresh characters. So imagine if you have a certain type of magic build you're wanting to do, and you're putting your relics into that certain build.
Yeah. You don't want to get too greedy with the spell casting, right?
Usually you have spell slots and you just have to cast them, but it has these like staffs and spells are bonded as one. Yeah, that's what I was trying to. That's what I was thinking, Kai. Nice. So now she's getting, or Distortion is getting like golden rarity weapons, which I'm assuming is the best. Legend Forged.
To be able to take any one of your items, any one of your weapons, and turn them into a legendary.
So that's what happened.
Buff to go into the final battle with, because again, you look at the boss's weakness, you're like, oh, I've got a holy item, and this isn't even a holy one. It doesn't matter, right? It's like if you've got a legendary weapon, very powerful.
Yeah.
And
no bleed so far. They're sleeping on the bleed build, bro.
If you beat the magma worm.
And that's huge, right? If you're playing Recluse, you pick up a weapon, make it legendary. If you're playing Iron Eye, you love your starting bow, a gray item.
Yes.
Make it legendary.
This is not, you know, we talked about the relic system very briefly before we started going. So let's say I have a relic that starts my bow off with fire.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to pick up anything because I want fire, right?
Exactly.
You can make that legendary.
And it does so much damage.
And all of a sudden, your starter bow is now a legendary item.
Yeah,
so
that's amazing.
There's all kinds of different routes you can take. And again, this is only when the crater's in play.
Yeah, and it's still all earned, right? We saw these teams go all the way down. They have to practice actually going through this crater a couple of times as well. I've been lost, Jake, going into this crater sometimes. I have no idea. The first time I was in here, I had no idea what was going on.
These teams had been clinical about going down here. It's actually, there's a lot more places you can get lost and other places to explore. You know, you can find the right paths and causeways.
Yeah, poor Salamander, bro.
There, you know?
Yeah. Oh, it's huge.
Looks like everyone's going to take their chances. Let's look at some of the level scaling. We see Team Blue is around about level 9. Team Bronze level
it's 15.
15. So, I mean, this is an amazing run. I think Bronze and Cyan are both hitting level 15. Like, guys, like we've seen a lot of runs. That's rare.
That's the cap.
Runners to be
just
hitting
so
the level cap.
The regular level cap is 15.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, there's supposed to be a Night 2 boss that gives you XP as well.
Well, yeah.
but there's still going to be chances to spend your consumables. There's spectral merchants around the map, so you don't have to spend your runes on leveling up if you want to. You could go for more of those consumables. You could play towards that, and even, of course, we'll be able to see that.
No, I agree, man. This looks like a super fun time. I'm loving really everything about it.
Just to talk about that a little briefly, the runes, you can use them for all kinds of different things, including you can get more item slots. You can actually buy gear directly from a shopkeeper. And of course, consumables. I know for a lot of first-time players for this, you might not think about consumables too much. I know when I played Elden Ring, I didn't use them at all usually.
I'm saving them for the next round.
You're saving them for the next round, right? But in this game, use them.
Yeah.
Use your consumables. They're very good in this game.
Team Green, they're going to take on the Valiant Gargoyle. And honestly, this could be a great time here for a listen-in.
Level 9 Gargoyle.
This is a challenging fight. Yeah, let's see if we can listen in with Will Knapp and see how they're taking on this engagement.
I got Myth. Don't worry. Distract him. Oh my god. Get Myth. Boys.
Oh my
he is
God, he's like getting
absolutely
one hitting.
Clapping my balls.
Oh my God.
All right.
That's the gargoyle experience, man. Look, that's the gargoyle experience.
There's
Look,
a dagger!
You know what you're taking on when you come against the gargoyle. You got to be ready for that.
Dude, this is gonna be so fun. I'm super excited about this. This makes me very, very excited. I think this is gonna be phenomenal. Ooh.
so close.
They got it.
I think he was
They
just
got
locking
it.
in on 1-2 heal.
And that's a key
I'm not
comeback
sure.
point for them, right? In this run, like they're level 9, they needed those runes, they needed this loot, they took the risk, and this time it pays off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you
Dude, that's crazy. Poison or Scarlet Rot in the vicinity continuously restores HP. So if you're doing like a Scarlet Rot or a Poison build, that's insane, man.
we're hovering over it.
God,
You know,
so-
if you have teammates who are putting poison.
And that's what I appreciate about this. Like, I was really worried, like, builds aren't going to matter. What you're doing is not going to matter. It's not going to feel like you're actually, like, building towards anything, even between games. But, again, I think the cross progression with, like, the relics and whatnot is going to be... like, the progression between matches with the relics is going to give you enough build to keep you happy.
Poison or rot on people, you can have +7 continuous HP recovery. That's a lot.
Yeah, serious.
It's like having a flask pretty much.
So we actually don't change armor or anything. We get talismans and weapons, and that's it's what I'm gathering.
Death Viper, and this is a tricky arena for him. He's up on the high ground, casting these
and
devastating range
Knight is
attacks.
coming in.
What's up, Venom? Welcome to the stream, brother. Thank you for being here.
Ready to challenge, especially in that position when he backs off into the night.
They probably feel it's not worth the risk, considering they're probably going to be 15 after the night.
Yeah,
boss.
maybe no reason to take on a challenge. I mean, if you lost to level now at 14, that would be incredibly costly. You can see that circle on the map is zoning them in towards the final arena. But I mean, 14 right now is amazing. I have no question in my mind that these guys are going to survive that night.
I think
to the Night Lord.
Yeah, I think Gladius should be afraid of these teams, not the other way around.
There's a different type of Night Lord just walking around. Here's Night Boss number 1, by the way, for a bunch of other teams. And
oh my!
Just
if you blink,
That's wild.
bye-bye. Yeah.
Absolute wow.
Seems like the run's going pretty well. For Team Cyan. All right.
Definitely seeing some really high level recluse play here.
Lower FP consumption. And is there not a limit on how much you can do with
Very
that?
serious.
Like, it doesn't seem like
Again,
there's
the
a
one
limit
recluse
on
is
what you
actually
can
never really
do.
runs out of FP, right? Especially with that all.
Like, how many
Look at
things,
these-
how many
all
passives you can
these
stack.
passives, all these passives are improving those sorceries. They're stacking the damage and reducing FP costs. So you can just let loose.
Yeah.
The thing is, your build is going to be different every game, right? You might be led in a different direction. You might be trying out different spells. And I think for me, you know, as someone who's a huge fan of Elden Ring, that I didn't fully explore like all of these different ways to play and fight in the game. And Nightreign really brings that to bear. And I think for a lot of players, it's going to be a great opportunity to really get the full breadth of the experience, to try all these different strategies and builds. And there's a reason this run is going so well. It's not because they needed to hit exactly this build, but it's because these players are able to adapt to whatever the game throws at them, and they're just really displaying their skill. Team Tan, I believe this is the Night 2 boss for them?
Yeah,
There's learned quite a lot, so
Level
most
14,
game might not be
taking on the Tree Sentinel.
that one-sided.
Not even
No,
right
these
now,
guys are
even
definitely
ultimate right now,
professionals.
I got
100%.
Friends.
Yeah, I mean, you got to just divvy out again. Park and Harbor, Parky, she's on the back.
Like, these
Right
guys
there
have
taking
obviously,
over
like,
some of the
they've been
cavalry
playing.
men.
So I
Abby's
don't
focused
think it'll
with
be,
Chris
I
to
don't think
take
it'll be
on
that
the big
one-sided.
Sentinel, and the Sentinel looks weaker than the cavalrymen right now. I mean,
They're going right for the big one first. Just the punishment that 2 Iron Eyes can put out with the Duchess. Again, I'm used to seeing this kind of composition with a tank in front.
So I'm trying to decide, like, am I going to play with randoms or am I going to try to play mainly solo?
Yeah.
Now,
I don't know
in a
yet.
boss fight, I don't think Gladius is going to be a problem. But in a larger boss fight, it might, you know, if you go down once, there might not be a chance for recovery.
this is the highest risk for like one of the highest rewards ever. Also, that's so sad. I feel like if the cavalryman dies, we should let the horse live, you know? Just be able to
Love your
ride
streaming
off
chat,
with
bro.
the
Love
knight.
your
We
content.
gotta-
Fan you
we gotta
not
put the
randomly
horse
and
down
love catching
too.
your stream tonight. Yo, I appreciate that a lot, Venom. I hope you're having a phenomenal night, brother.
We stand in on business.
I love when
here.
you're able to stop by, dude.
They're going to take their last perk and
That's crazy. Produces an ice storm at the starting point of your surge sprint. So when you start sprinting.
tell me what's spawning in right
There's
here.
so
Tell
much you
me
can do
what we
here.
expect to happen next year, Dan, after this second night boss.
So basically, the night cycle's over. There's no more roaming the map. After you've beaten Night 2, you're going directly to the Night Lord. You're going to have a chance to level up and use a shop and use a blacksmith. So all those amenities are in this shelter that they're going to next. But there's no more map. We're just going to the boss.
Let's go over to Team Blue. Look at that Revenant gameplay again. We looked at just one of the night bosses. That's the Tree Sentinel. We'll go there in just a second, actually. It's true. Let's look at day 3. We're talking about consumables as well. So this is one of the places you can get
so this
the
is
best.
Basically, again, no more traveling the map. This is where you get
so
set up
he's
for the
buying
big encounter.
consumables, buying
Everyone's been
stuff from the
building to
shop.
this, the Night Lord. And so this time we're facing Gladius, which I'm pretty sure this team right here is absolutely going to eviscerate in seconds.
I've got some very potent builds brewing on many of our team members.
And you can see here again, don't ignore
So I
the
thought
consumables.
about starting getting this game since watching you. What's the best system in your
Stuff is
opinion?
all
PC or
really
game
good at
console?
these boss
Listen,
fights.
I prefer PC across the board just because I feel like it gives you so many more options
These are the biggest challenges
to play whatever you
want to
want.
have every advantage possible.
Like I can do any game I want to for Xbox on Game Pass. A lot of games on PlayStation get ported now, and you have every option on PC, like with Steam.
Dutch's double iron eye. Sometimes you don't get the biggest value.
So
because,
I prefer PC for my like all my gaming stuff. Because like I mean you can also use a controller if you want to on PC.
So much
Again,
damage.
I can't tell you how much I love the restage ability.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying. Obviously, you know, the Duchess is kind of like, again, like the rest of this team, kind of fragile. But the restage ability playing back all the damage your entire team does.
Oh yeah, no,
Even
I'll
if you're
definitely
not
be playing
communicating
this
with
on
them, you can just
controller.
watch visually when those giant arrows shoot.
Whether it's like a
or the
blood
big,
proc or a big repulse.
doing it right after a bleed proc is
Beautiful.
the most. It's the boss's health bar just it's gone.
Yeah.
No problem. Though. You're very welcome, brother.
Melted.
This is
Choose your
cool.
way to have
The
your
Night
boss like
3
this.
And this is gonna
in
be our
boss
first look
stage.
of the stream here at this Night Lord. I know for a lot of fans who maybe haven't seen so much of what to expect in Nightreign. Get ready. This is Gladius, the Beast of Night.
Oh my God! It's the 3-headed dog
And
thing.
again, the mobility you've got here. This is where we really put the players to the test, right? So, Night
I
bosses
wonder
might be a
if-
bit slower. You might be a little bit stronger compared to them in terms of your vigor. Over here, Dan, this is what you're talking
I
about. right?
wonder-
Yes, a team comp like this. One bad mistake is a third of your team down.
Can
God.
happen.
Yeah.
Now it's not going to happen on this.
I wonder if
but
every
but it
third
can-
every
it
third
can
fight
definitely
is
happen.
in this
Gladius,
weird moon sandy
again,
arena.
He's still quite challenging, but should not present a problem to this particular team.
And level 14 is great. I mean, like, honestly, you could be in this boss at level 12. We've seen people clear it even lower than that and still feel pretty confident about your chances. So the fact that your run has gone so well up to this point, it puts you in a position of massive advantage. And now Gladius goes into the second phase.
Yeah, and every time you get here, you won't be at 12. Sometimes you'll be at 15.
Oh,
other times you might be
I
at
think
9.
so, but now
Yeah,
they've
you basically have to figure out
split
how to do
up,
it
so
what
I
you
have no
got.
idea what's happening.
This is, yeah.
You're going to have different
The bosses
tools
probably randomized.
every
Oh yeah,
time.
no, I think the
So I see
bosses
what
random
we're
every.
doing.
Well, you get to pick which boss you're
Iron Eye
hunting.
is this big bow shot.
But I wonder
Every
if like
single dog gets kinda
if every
collateral with that
in
bow.
boss
They
is
double ult back
in
and
this
forth
arena,
and deal
or if
quadruple
we get
damage
different
against,
ones.
I think,
Probably
power
different
to the
arenas. That would make
nines
sense
by
to me.
restage. The mathematics elude me, right? It's my Night Lord
Maybe we
in
can
total.
bring in Cyan
Very
here.
powerful map.
Yeah. And yeah,
Or
Cyan's
Team
here too.
Bonds.
Who's gonna actually beat this first? That's the big question. Cyan.
Cyan is a little bit ahead. It looks like Cyan got the first
Wow.
Wow.
Cyan eliminated it. Started it, I think,
Nice.
almost the latest.
I don't even think we got to see that one because it probably just evaporated.
So this is actually a brand new game that's coming out tomorrow, Venom. It's a standalone game.
Distortion too. It's a great start, but it's expected for these squads. Team Tan looking to get the cleanup as well on Gladius, but this is going to be the one they're most
Yo, thank you
familiar
so
with.
much for the
This is really
likes,
introductory
Ransom.
run, your
Appreciate that,
warm-up
bro.
run for these squads.
Yeah.
Again, still a challenge, but these squads really know what they're doing.
These are some of the best players in the game, right? So like when I hop in, it looks a little different, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm usually lying there on the ground.
Level 15 as well for Team Bronze. Man, there's going to be some very serious competition into some of these more difficult runs.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see how things shake out because when they start, those runs are going to look
So why is there still loot at the end of the run? Does that make sense? Why is this boss dropping loot? Can they take this loot into the next expedition and it just gets harder? How does that work? Also, an Erdtree bow is crazy.
very different than the one we just saw. Again,
Yeah.
different variables every time.
Lock in with Team Blue as well. We're going to be looking at just the way that these guys might be starting a bit later. That might not be due to just the speed at which you're playing.
It's because you carry over relics that change your playstyle. Right, I know you get to keep the relics for progression between matches, but what's the point of it dropping weapons?
Or just that free bridge right before the Night Lord happens. You can still see the damage who are pumping out here on blue is absolutely
Because
This
those are
is a
straight
pretty cool build
those are
for
straight
Fighting
just
Cowboy
weapons.
On the Revenant. We talked about how squishy Revenant is and how worried you are about taking a big hit, but it looks like he's grabbed a great shield. I think this is the Bell-Bearing Hunter's great shield. That can be really potent in this fight. It's hard to dodge all the attacks from these split up beasts. And so this is giving him a bit
So you
more
can load it with that
flexibility,
weapon in
a bit
the
more
next
staying power
match?
to be close and engage
Gotcha.
in the boss, showing that your builds could be different.
So that's what I
every
was
run.
wondering. Like, I wonder if you
I
get to
hadn't thought
do
about
that
using a great shield on
between,
Revenant. It seems to be
like if you
working
don't
right now.
die,
Good passives. I'm not
if you
exactly
get to
sure why he's using
keep the
it.
weapons
Maybe
into
because
your
he
next
took down
run.
earlier, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
defense.
I mean, he's already
So you probably
brought
get to
some
keep
powerful
the
attacks with
weapon?
it. Staggers now though.
Whoa.
I'm sure your level
Holy
resets.
jeez, that's insane.
I
Never
can see
seen
who
that in
was an
Nightreign
insane drop
before.
for Recluse,
And
yeah.
Gladius is down again. I mean, huge. Team blue wiping it out. We can go to team green, gray, violet, whatever we want to go with either. I mean, everyone's starting things at a different time. We'll lock in with green
So
for
let's
now.
fast forward through here.
They're sort of okay. But that helps.
Although
Right here, and you can really see the Duchess's restage being used to facilitate that Iron Eye DPS.
Yeah, it's melting.
The team comp.
I mean, that's the thing about Nightreign. Every single run I see, there's something new, there's something different that we haven't experienced before, and there's always going to be that challenge in every run. You're always going to have to follow Moon right
But they,
Been playing for about a week, know what's going down. Some of these other less experienced teams
rely on dodging rather than inherent tankiness.
Interesting. So they started all over. So as you get in your relics, you need different things to optimize your build. So being stuck with one weapon kind of ruins the paths you can take to do this. So you change your build based off of that. Is it unlimited mode?
This speaks to the skill of Team
I
Tank.
don't know.
absolutely. I love seeing the Duchess work. It's one of my favorites.
you get to choose your Night Lord first, and
Their effect, right?
It
You
is.
might have to dig
Yeah.
deep to
Happens.
it's gonna go absolutely insane, Jake. The big thing for Libra as well that I think me and you have had an experience watching this over at PAX, playing with some.
The entire From Software catalog.
But at the same time, Jake, that's
you try to say, okay,
here, Dan, the Revenant gameplay, right? This is what everyone wanted to see.
Love to see the Revenant in action.
as they on this night,
I know.
it's going to be the same.
That's wild. Listen, chat. From what I'm seeing, oh my God, this game looks amazing.